Hi, I'm Dr. Chisenhall, and I'm going to be your instructor for ECE 125, Early Childhood Methods 2. I'm excited to be working with you. I know some of you were in my Methods 1 class in the spring, and some of you were in Mrs. Hilton's infant toddler class in the spring, and some of you may be coming back after taking a few semesters off, or you may be visiting from another campus. But regardless, we are going to have so much fun this semester as we write our lesson plans and we share them with each other via our video discussion boards and our Zooms, and we're going to learn so much about implementing developmentally appropriate early childhood lessons. So if you haven't already, please watch the course orientation video that I posted last week in my welcome announcement, and that'll just give you an overview of how our course is set up and where you can find all of your resources. So I know if you're like me, you love the methods classes and you love our hands-on activities and our time that we get to interact with the children. Unfortunately, we can't quite do that in the traditional manner this semester, but we're going to do the next best thing and complete those tasks through the use of technology. So as I said in my orientation video, you're not completing your lab hours this semester in the traditional manner as far as observing in the Child Development Center, but you're going to be watching some videos of some lessons that were created by one of our Delaware Tech Child Development Centers, and you'll be watching some video observations that I infuse into the discussion boards that go along with the content that we're learning for that week. So to get us started, let's look at Module 1, Week 1 material. Okay? So I have included 2 essential questions. So by the end of this week, you're going to be able to explain what developmentally practices in early childhood are, and you're going to be able to describe the components of our early childhood lesson. So I've created an overview here for the week, and I've created a list of the tasks or the assignments that you need to complete for this week. But if we go ahead and scroll down, I have several links and several resources here for you. So the purpose of this week is to really lay the foundation for what constitutes quality early childhood curriculum and lesson plans, what needs to be in our quality early childhood lesson plans. We're going to talk about developmentally appropriate practices and really the foundation of early childhood. So the link I just clicked on was the presentation that I created. I actually have it in Google Slides. So if you haven't used Google Slides before, you can click up here, open with Google Slides, or you can download whatever you feel most comfortable doing. And right now I'm going to put it in presentation mode. So I'm going to click right here. So in your early childhood courses, you've learned a lot about the history of early childhood and how it's changed over the years and the different theorists that have contributed to early childhood. So when you think of those theorists, you probably think of Montessori or Vygotsky or Erik Erikson. Well, all of those theorists and their theories and key ideas actually shape how we know children learn and develop and how we should be instructing them. So in my presentation here, I have their key ideas connected to the theorists who created or who helped that theory to become more well-known and accepted in early childhood. So Erik Erikson, as you remember, he said children move through different developmental stages. John Piaget said that children organize their thinking into categories in order to comprehend and process new information. Lev Vygotsky said that when we provide children with scaffolding and we activate their prior knowledge, it helps them to be able to learn new concepts, much more so or more advanced concepts than what they'd be able to learn or process on their own. And then remember, Howard Gardner popularized the different intelligences and how children all learn in different ways. So what do those theories have to do with our lesson plans? Well, let's talk about that. So these are the quality components of early childhood lesson plans. And this is what we're going to be striving to incorporate in all of our lesson plans. And you'll notice as we go through them real quickly that they are direct connection to those theories that we just went over and those theorists' key ideas. So we're going to start our lesson plans by activating the children's prior knowledge. We're going to ask them questions to find out what they already know about the topic and help them make those connections between what they already know and the new information that you're going to be sharing with them. This gets them excited about your lesson and hooks them on your lesson and helps them make those essential connections. We're also going to be providing scaffolding. So we're going to be modeling for the children and doing things together and then releasing that support until they're able to implement or do the task by themselves. We know it's important to give the children time and opportunity to construct their own meaning, and also for our lesson plans to be hands-on. It should feel like play to the children. It should be something that they're physically doing themselves. And then we know we always finish our lessons with a review. The review is our closing, and that is also is an assessment for us and helps us to know if the children have mastered our objectives for a lesson and just helps to wrap it all up. We also know that play is so important in early childhood. Play to a child is fun, it's pleasurable, it's engaging, it's how they express themselves, it's how they developmentally have opportunities to use their language skills and their social emotional skills and their physical skills. We see play in the classroom all the time, and to a child, our lesson plan should feel like play. They should be pleasurable and engaging and make something that they want to do over and over again. Erik Erikson believed that children actually develop their self-esteem when they feel like they have mastery of objects. And so how do we do that? We have to give them time. So in our lesson plans, we have to build in time for children to play and explore and discover. Also, our lesson plans need to be developmentally appropriate. So we need to make sure that our lessons are addressing the interests and needs of the children, and also that they're based on the appropriate standards, the appropriate preschool standards found in the Delaware Early Learning Foundation for School Success. So I have included a link from ECE that explains the developmentally appropriate practices, key concepts, and also what it looks like in the classroom. Okay, that is our last slide. So I'm going to exit out of that and go back over to our module 1. So underneath of our week 1 presentation that I just went over, I have a link to ECE's developmentally appropriate practices, where ECE is explaining the key components of developmentally appropriate practices. There's 3 links here that I would like you to read. The developmentally appropriate practice position statement, the 3 core considerations or elements of developmentally appropriate practices, and then the 10 effective developmentally appropriate practice teaching strategies. And there's some additional resources that ECE has included about developmentally appropriate practices here as well. So this is a good resource for you. If we go back over to Module 1, I've included the link to Delaware STAR's explanation as to what is a quality early childhood curriculum. So I'd like you to take a look at that and read through those resources. I also want you to start thinking about what theme you would like your thematic unit to be. So remember, all of the lesson plans that you're going to create in this course are all going to revolve around one central theme, and that theme should be appropriate for preschool. So if you click on this link, it will take you to, I believe, over 100 ideas. I would recommend choosing themes that are general, such as all about me or me and my world. You could certainly do something like farm animals if you have a passion for that. But I think if you stick with themes that are a little more broader, like social emotional, or maybe literacy, so all of your lesson plans somehow incorporate literacy, or you could do something like children's books. All of your lesson plans incorporate a children's book, or even an author Maybe you pick Eric Carle and all of your lesson plans revolve around the Eric Carle book. That just helps you as you create your lesson plans and your integrated activities, that you're not so locked into one specific avenue or direction. Okay, so your assignments for this week is you have 2 discussion boards. Discussion board 1, this is your reflection of the information we've covered this week. Please take a few minutes to introduce yourself. We'd love to if you posted a picture, and then also to reflect on these 4 questions. How would you describe a quality early childhood curriculum? What are the important components that should be included in early childhood lesson plans? How will you make sure your lesson plans are developmentally appropriate? And what theme would you like to select for your thematic unit? If you change it after this week, that's perfectly fine too. You still have 2 more weeks before your first lesson plan is due, but I want you to start thinking about it. You can reflect or respond to this as a written response, or you can make a video of yourself speaking. Also, be sure to reply to 2 classmates. So your first response is due by 11:59 on Wednesday, and your response to 2 classmates needs to be by 11:59 p.m. on Sunday. Also, you're going to watch a video created by one of the Delaware Tech Child Development Centers. So as I'm creating this video right now, I don't have the link yet. That's why it says need link. But by the time you watch this video, I'm sure the links will be embedded here, where you will have the link to watch the video, and then you will have the link to open up the lesson plan and see the lesson plan that they created. Now, the lesson plan template that they used is the exact same lesson plan template that you're going to use to write your lesson plans, so this will be a good model or example for you. After you've watched the lesson plan and read over the written document of the lesson plan, please reflect on these 4 questions. Again, you can respond as a written response or a video of yourself speaking. Please respond by 11:59 p.m. on Wednesday and reply to 2 classmates on 11:59 on Sunday. Since your thematic unit is going to be presented digitally to me, I would like you to create it as a Google site. So if you're not familiar with using Google website, here's a tutorial right here that will walk you through it. Also, I want to make sure you're familiar with how to find your Google Drive. So if you click on My DTCC and you click on Resources, you all have a direct link to your Delaware Tech Google Drive. You might have a personal Google Drive as well, but everybody has a Delaware Tech Google Drive. Go down under Technology. Right here it says Google Drive. So I house all of my documents in my Google Drive. That way it doesn't matter if I'm on campus or in the library or in my house. I have access to all of my documents. If you go over to this button right here that says New, you can click New. You can go down here to where it says More. Oops. Click on the More arrow, and then down here it says Google Sites. Now this is where the video, the tutorial that I selected for you, actually starts up. So the video starts here with the man explaining how to add additional pages and how to insert things. But this will be your home page, so you can put the title of your thematic unit, that it's for the preschool age group, and you can put your information. You can then insert additional pages. I need to move me out of the way here. You can insert additional pages by pushing this plus sign right here. And then that'll create a new page. So your first section is art. And now you have home and art. Your next section is sensory. And that will create a sensory page, etc. So you can keep going in that format. So please let me know if you have any questions. I look forward to working with you and learning with you. Next week I will send out an email and invite you to a Zoom. If you can't come live, don't worry about it. I'll record it and post it for you. But I hope you have a wonderful first week of the semester. I look forward to reading your discussion boards, and let me know if you have any questions. Bye-bye.